It was always planned that we watched a lot of war movies with the showrunners before we started to find the right style that we wanted to do. So we were really planning it.
Could you name a few movies that you already...
We watched The Norseman, which is a Viking film, and we watched Saving Private Ryan. Do you know Norseman?
Brilliant films.
Yeah.
I have a sequence that takes place underwater, and so it was the first time that I'd ever filmed underwater, and in order to do that you have to sort of train for that. You've got to get certification to use the respirator underwater, and you have to act underwater, which turns out is not the simplest thing.
Challenging was I think just standing there in my costume and my wig in the heat in Tenerife melting. So yeah, that was a challenge for me.
Hi everyone, my name is Dishya and you're watching News 18 from India. We have the team of Rings of Power with us. Hi.
Hi.
Hello there.
I want to start off with you. The new season looks so much edgier, and the 2 episodes that I watched, I was like, yes, this is something that I'm going to, like week on week, I'm going to sit and like watch everything and dissect everything. And also this new season feels like you all have gone with the idea of no mercy. Like this
of what?
No mercy.
Yeah.
Like the way the whole thing starts, with so much blood and so much blood. I'm like, yes. So was that a very thought out process that we are going to shift the tone completely?
I mean, I don't know how completely we shifted, because that tone started a little bit in the episodes I did in the first season, which was episode 6 and 7, because 6 is a big battle, and it's pretty no mercy when everybody dies and Mount Doom explodes, and and then we all covered in ashes, and so it had already started a process, I think. But yeah, I think that it was always meant to be that way, because now that we know who Sauron is, the suspense is somewhere else, and now he's coming back, and we're going to see how he's going to manage to actually get in there, to get closer to Celebrimbor, to convince him to forge the rings. So we need to follow him, and he's a very dark and sinister character. He's really the red line, the through line in the whole series, in the whole season. We're following him through the different worlds. So I think the photography, everything follows that image. And then I actually like what is strong and violent and the action-packed scenes. I enjoy watching that. But I also want it to be authentic. I was trying to make it really gritty. Gritty is also just authentic. I mean, if you fight a battle in the mud, you get muddy. And things are not meant to be just sort of perfect all the time. So, it was always planned that we watched a lot of war movies with the showrunners before we started to find the right style that we wanted to do. So we were really planning it.
Could you name a few movies that you already...
We watched The Norseman, which is a Viking film, and we watched Saving Private Ryan. Do you know Norseman?
Brilliant films.
Yeah. And what I liked very much about The Norseman, and we didn't copy it, but there were things that I thought were fantastic, was that there were some scenes that were shot, just one shot. There was the big action scenes that were just like a through shot, like a one take. And actually in episode 8, I have a scene like that. That is a big action scene that lasts for 3 minutes, and it's only one take. It's a continuous take, very complicated take. When they come into the city of Eregion, they climb up on the wall and on the roof, and there's a lot of fighting going on. And
is that the Northman Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's based on Hamlet, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the story of Hamlet.
Yeah, absolutely. With his mother, with Nicole Kidman, the mother, and everything.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So those are the films that inspired us in the beginning. So those are pretty dark scenes. And I also, in The Norseman, there are some scenes, even though it's a film shot in color, it looks like it's in black and white sometimes. So whenever we get to Mordor, and whenever we see the world of Mordor, we try with Alex Diessenhoff, the director of photography, we try to make that world as black and white as possible. So in Mordor, if you think about it when you continue watching, there is no color. Everything is ashes, grey and dark and burnt. So those, and very different from the colorful Numenor world.
My next question is to both of you is that, I'm very curious to know what were the scenes that both of you all found very challenging to perform during the new season?
I have a sequence that takes place underwater. And so it was the first time that I'd ever filmed underwater. And in order to do that, you have to sort of train for that. You've got to get certification to use the respirator underwater. And you have to act underwater, which turns out is not the simplest thing. So there were the technical aspects of that being challenging, but then just emotionally, what that moment is, the culmination of that, without giving too much away. Miriel is going to be tested, and there are a lot of intense things that sort of lead up to that moment. And so it was trying to sort of make sure that I was portraying that battle for Miriel while managing my own fears about being underwater, because it was scary for me. It's intensive. And so there was something nice about feeling like I, as that actor, could triumph over my own fears of being in the water, of feeling like I was going to drown, but portraying Miriel as brave and in control. And so there was that kind of nice thing that I had to figure out. But the payoff and what I think the audience is going to see for that sequence, I'm very, very excited for.
I'm very excited about this scene. For you, sir?
Well, I'm going to sound as deep as a puddle when I say this. But, challenging was, I think, just standing there in my costume and my wig in the heat in Tenerife, melting. So yeah, that was a challenge for me.
For everybody on this show, every time I was watching and you all were doing outdoor scenes, and I was like, how are they doing this? I can't sit in my normal clothes in the seat. How are they managing to do that?
I feel like you got to use the elements sometime. It's interesting because, even though you're laughing about it, it's true. Sometimes you, as just a human being, are tired, are cold, hungry, thinking about other things in your life, but really you're trying to be focused and in the moment for that character because you have a story to tell. So it's, you might look like just calm on the surface, but internally it's all these things that we all navigate all the time.
And God forbid there's a retake announcement.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
And I always admire the actors. They're waiting all day to do something, and then everybody say, go, go, go. You have to do it fast. Right? Yeah. They've been standing in the heat all day waiting for that
I guess
moment.
That's what we've been trained to do, right?
And it's very tough to make sure that you work on being ready for that very moment, right?
Yeah, especially if it's something emotional, because I think, to sort of summon those emotions or have them at the ready, for a 14-hour day, and then at the end, it's like, okay, and here's the big emotional moment. But again, I think that's what not only are we trained to do, but I think we relish it, because I think in the end, we're kind of gluttons for punishment.
Yeah, that's why we're in this business. We're cracked anyway.
All right, thank you so much for talking to me, and all the best for the new season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.